that you're doing it on purpose. Sing like a singing on key. Talk to the girl that intimidates you. Pretend that you're brilliant and charming. I said pretend that you're brilliant and charming. Hey!
Welcome, everybody. Later with Jason Suel. So glad that you are tuned in. Wherever you're tuned in from, we're glad you're joining us on the show, Entertainment Television with Heart. And hey, Bo Counts, I'm so glad that you're tuned in to the show also, man.
I mean, it's weird. It's like I'm here, but I'm also over there on the screen, and over here, I'm tuned in. I'm just tuned in.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere. I got an important question for you.
Okay.
I need to know your opinion on something, because you're a guy who is no shortage of opinions.
Oh, sure. That's true.
It's a big debate this time of year, kind of like post-Thanksgiving, the lead up to the big holiday season.
Okay.
Are you an eggnog or a custard guy?
Ooh, as a guy, obviously, that consumes a lot of things that I shouldn't, that's a tough one because the debate, the
heated debate, right?
runs deep.
Yeah, it does.
To me, I like the eggnog. I'm an eggnog guy. I know a lot of people get scared about the eggs in the eggnog, but I feel like it's like PTSD coming back from their childhood where they had bad nog because it's really easy to mess up eggnog.
Yes.
And if you do it right, though, woo, it's so good.
I'm an eggnog guy too, and in recent years, there's so much great eggnog around Northwest Arkansas. Everybody kind of seems to have their own recipe. It's
I always
really good.
compete in the eggnog challenge every year.
Every year, right?
Every year, yeah. Last year I made gelatin nog that looked like deviled eggs.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I had a fancy whipped cream that was the yolk that I dyed yellow. Everyone was afraid of it because they thought it was actual eggs, and no, I lost.
Because of the fear factor.
Yeah, no one would. Most people wouldn't even try it.
All right.
But gotta broaden your horizons.
You do. Hit us up on social media. We'd love to know where you stand in the debate. Are you a nog? Are you a custard? What do you think? And either one of those, send us your recipe because, man, I want to try some eggnog, some custard at home this year. Speaking of things you can do at home, you can keep watching this show because we've got a great episode lined up. We've got the amazing Lana Brooks joining us. Lana Brooks Decor and More. She's an interior designer, and she's got some tips for you at home on decorating this holiday season. And we've got our great friend from Fox 24, Tavares Jones, is joining us.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
He's cooked up something special. I cannot wait to see what he's cooked up for us. Yeah, great stuff. And then I feel like, it's the time of year for comfort food, comfort music. Smokey and the Mirror are joining us on today's program.
You gotta love those guys.
I love those guys too. But check this out. Right now, we're about to do something super special because we got to go inside of the Holidays bar that is happening at Walton Arts Center.
Speaking of eggnog.
Right now. So check it out and then stick around because we got some great content coming up later. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm here with Hannah Withers from Leverett Lounge, caretaker of Maxine's Tap Room on Block, and here at Holidays, which is now at the Walton Arts Center this year. A lot of our viewers might remember it from last year. It was in a different location, but you were talking to me about how that's the nature of a pop-up, right? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the thought that something pops up in a new location with a similar concept every year is what it's really about. And we knew that the place that we were in after the response that we had last year, we knew we were going to have to find a bigger space.
Let's just talk about the logistics then. Like, when and where is this happening? Obviously, it's at Walton Arts Center, but what are the hours? And talk about also the different places within Walton Arts Center where people can be socially distanced and seated.
So we have a lot of ways that you can participate in Holidays this year. We have an indoor area that you can make reservations for. The tables are 10 feet apart from each other. There are only 8 tables in this massive gallery space. We also have a walk-up bar that is inside for people who might want to get a drink. There's a great big parking lot right next to us. You could get a cocktail with the kids up until 9:30 and walk up to Lights of the Ozarks, maybe stop and support some local businesses up and down up and down your walkway.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have a walk-up bar. We also have all of the outdoor seating in the Rose Garden. Those are also reservable. We also have a ton of walk-in availability, so you don't have to make a reservation.
All right, now I'm back behind the bar with Richard Gathright. You're a partner here at Holidays. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk about drinks, and
Yes.
I know you've got alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. Can you talk us through some of maybe the favorites on the menu?
Sure, absolutely. So last year we had a lot of favorites that we brought back for this year. So the Poinsettia is back, which is a vodka-based drink. The Old Fashioned we changed up a little bit this year. It's now a gingerbread Old Fashioned.
Ooh.
It's really tasty.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous. The most dangerous one's probably the Applejack Sazerac.
Okay.
So we removed the Manhattan from the menu last year, and we're doing the Sazerac this year. It's delicious. We have a new drink called the Jingle Juice. And then we've got some hot drinks too. The
Yes.
Polar Bear is back.
Good.
Which is just hot chocolate and peppermint schnapps. The hot buttered rum is back. That was a big hit for last
Favorite.
year.
That was my favorite.
New hot drink, we've got a peanut butter Scrooge, which has peanut butter screwball whiskey. Some oak and bean coffee liqueur from our friends up at Fox Trail.
Yes.
Some Irish cream and some Arcegas coffee.
So we have a Secret Santa donor. We've created a cocktail called the Stony Bird. Each time that anybody purchases a $10 Stony Bird, that organization is matching that, and we're donating back to Meals for Musicians with Roots Festival, Fayetteville Independent Restaurant Alliance, Peace at Home Families Shelter, and NWA Equality.
Man, you're giving back to so many different organizations. I, for one, cannot wait to have a cocktail in here. It looks awesome. It feels awesome. I think I could stay here all the way through until you close on the 31st.
I think that this is a really important way for all of us to end a really complicated year.
Absolutely.
With a little bit of cheer and a little bit of spirit.
Yes, a little bit of cheer, a little bit of spirit. You heard it here, folks. Hannah Withers, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us.
Sure, thanks for coming. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Sam's Furniture doing good. Shine a spotlight on your neighborhood.
Well, we're relaxing here at Sam's Furniture, and we've got Brandon Swoboda, Habitat for Humanity, Washington County, joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Tell me about the work that the Washington County Habitat for Humanity does.
Yeah, so we're focused on helping low-income families achieve home ownership. And the way that they do that is they come to us as a partner family. They put in 300 hours of sweat equity. We find volunteers like you, sponsors come alongside. We build the house together. They buy the house from Habitat at a 0% interest loan and become homeowners.
Wow, that's such an amazing thing. You know,
It really
you hear
is.
about Habitat for Humanity all the time, but to hear that it's happening
Yeah,
right here in
right
Northwest
here in
Arkansas,
North-
Washington County.
That's right.
great.
Yeah, that's right.
If people are watching, they want to get involved, maybe they want to contribute some hours, maybe they want to volunteer. How can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so they can find us on the web, Habitat for Humanity, Washington County, or you can find us on Facebook as well and help these low-income families get into home ownership. It's
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
It's so important. Brandon,
Yeah.
thank you for taking the time. And
I wonder if Sam's would take sweat equity for this table.
welcome back, folks. Later with Jason Suel. So glad that you are tuned in. Now, listen, we got something really special right now because I know if you're like me, you're like, what do I do about holiday decorations? Well, don't fear. We've got an expert to help us. Lana Brooks, Decor and More, is joining us. Hey, Lana. Hey, thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with us.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So fill us in a little bit on your company, your Decor and More. What is it that you do?
What's the more?
The more is all the fun. I say I bring all the fun, all the sparkle. Decor and More, I started out just decorating homes, and one friend told another, and it just kind of happened. And then I start with the client from where you're at in your home, whatever, listen to your needs, your wants, your desires. And then I've been in on remodels and from the ground up. I basically take all the pressure and the worry off of you and do all your legwork.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing that there are people like you that can do that, because it is a very pressure-filled situation whenever you're kind of doing a remodel, right?
Oh, yes. You never know what's going to be behind that door, that wall, that space.
Generally piles of dirty clothes. I think that's what's in mind. Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about decorating for the holidays just for a second. So, are there any trends that are happening this year, or maybe just over the past few years that you have seen with holiday decorations?
Sure. This year, particularly, a lot of, I want to say, younger clients are kind of trendy, are going for the more boho vibe. The less is more, a little bit more contemporary. But then you always have the classic traditional that always comes back.
Is there like one must-have for this season, you think, in every home? If you were to give people an advice on one thing they've got to use for decorating this year, what would that be?
One thing, if I would say you had to do something, get an ornament. I started this tradition because a friend told me about it years ago for your children. And every year add to that. And then when they move out, when they get married, you leave them with all of these ornaments over their childhood. And it's so cool to see the date on the back and what, the year. And they're mostly just
I think, Lana, you touched on something that's really important to my family. And I think that if there's one thing that everybody needs in their home around the holidays, it's a tradition.
I did that with my daughters, and I'm still doing it to this day. They're 33, 32, and 27. I still give them and their spouse an ornament. And then I've started the tradition with started it with their grandchildren, and they're doing it for their children. It's just, it's great. And an ornament can be, oh my goodness, it can be from anywhere.
Yeah.
It can be anything.
Right.
Anything.
It can be simple or it can be elaborate. And I know that you work with people in an elaborate way. You do a lot of great stuff, interior design, plus being a wedding planner. So it truly is decor and more. If our viewers right now are curious about hiring you maybe to help them out with some decorating or some wedding planning, how can they reach you? What's your website? Where are you on social media? Give us all those details.
Okay. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, of course, and it's Lana Brooks, Decor and More. It's LONNIA Brooks, Decor and More. And LanaBrooks@gmail.com.
Okay.
And my first consult is always free, and we just talk and visit and see where you're at, see if we gel, and go at it.
Yeah, and you've been featured a couple times in the great publication here in Northwest Arkansas, Cityscape, so people can find you in there on occasion. You got so much going on, so we really appreciate you just taking the time, coming on our show with that super cool hat that you have on. And, I can tell you're an interior designer because even your background looks amazing. So thanks for taking the time to visit with us.
Oh, my gosh, it's my pleasure. Thank y'all for having me. Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely. Yeah. See ya. Happy holidays.
Smith & Associates Real Estate is a proud sponsor of Later with Jason Suel. They're excited to be a part of the growth and continued success in Northwest Arkansas.
Driving home in the dark, rain so thick pavement's a parking lot. Under the overpass everybody is stopped. I keep pressing on, I'm sure it's flooded at the low water road, quarter of a mile from my home. I know there will be days better than this, when light will replace emptiness. And for that I'm grateful and have no regrets. The wipers are whining, they're keeping time with the speed of my breath. I'm praying soon I can get my rest. It's just a thin black line in the middle of a meteor field. Any moment all could be revealed. I know there will be days better than this,
fearlessness. And for that I'm grateful and have no regrets. Who off the shoulder in the soft brown mud, parking exit on the passenger's side, wading water that is 2 feet high. It'll dry, it'll dry. I know there will be days better than this, when light will replace emptiness. And for that I'm grateful and have no regrets.
Welcome back, everybody. Later with Jason Suel. So glad that you're tuned in. And check it out. We've got the morning anchor on Fox 24. This station, Tavares Jones, is joining us from his home kitchen, and we're talking about mac and cheese. Tavares, so good to see you, man.
Yeah, glad to be with you guys tonight.
Yeah.
So today, you know me as morning anchor Tavares Jones. Today I'll be Chef Boyardee, like Chef Boyardee.
Boyardee.
Walk us through it, man. We're making mac and cheese. You said maybe Southern mac and cheese. Tell us what you're going to be cooking
is there
up.
even Northern mac and cheese? No.
So,
no.
So I'm from the South. I was raised with my grandparents. My grandma would make macaroni and cheese for every occasion. So this was on the plate at Sunday dinners, every baby shower, bridal shower, family reunion, mac and cheese. And so it's Southern baked in the oven, and we're going to call it smack and cheese today. So you do everything from scratch. No blue box here. This is how it works out. I'm going to show you.
Sir.
You need 4 tablespoons of butter, and that'll go into the pot. Yeah, well, that's
I thought you said this was Southern mac and cheese.
How this works is, as you go, like my grandma taught me this as a kid. I would always go to the kitchen sink and she would say, come and look at how I make this so you'll know how to do it. So I really don't measure everything, but for you guys, I am measuring today. And so once you get the hang of it, you kind of just put the cheeses in that you like. You put what your family likes. So if you want to put bacon in this thing, if you want to put Colby Jack or Pepper Jack, whatever you like to your taste buds, you just do it. So every holiday, I kind of switch it up a little bit, just depending on what I'm doing.
I do love all those grandmother measurements, though. You've got a pinch, you got a smidge, you got a little sprinkling, you got a dollop.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly. So we got our roux started. So I got my flour in there, my 2 tablespoons of flour, excuse me, my 4 tablespoons of butter, and that's all going to melt down. Again, low and slow. And so to that, we got our roux down. And you don't want, if your roux turns dark, you're burning it or you're getting ready for gumbo, you want to keep it white because that's going to ruin the whole thing.
Okay,
so
it's a great tip.
Nice and white.
Yeah.
And then another tip is, okay, we're going to add half and half, like a cup and a half of half and half. And then also some evaporated milk. Evaporated milk is the one that comes in the can. We got our half and half. We're going to pour that into the saucepan. And then we got our evaporated milk in there. So on this plate that I'm showing you guys now, we've got some cream cheese. I got my Havarti. I got my Gouda there on the plate. And I'll add that in. I put my cream cheese first because what you're going to see is the cream cheese is going to create these lumps. You're going to make sure all those lumps are smooth and not chunky in your mac and cheese. So we got our cream cheese going. I'll melt those down. And it'll take just a few seconds. You can switch to a whisk if you want to add a rubber spatula, but again, a rubber whisk that we're just working everything down in there.
So you want to get rid of those lumps, right? You're moving it around till those lumps are gone.
Right, exactly. And eventually those will be gone. And then you put your, I got my Havarti here. I'm going to throw that in. Havarti cheese in, Gouda cheese in. All right. And then this will take 5 or 6 minutes to just smooth everything out. Once that's done, you're going to have like a cheese sauce, your bechamel sauce with the cheese in it, so to speak.
Man.
To that, you'll add your pasta. There's also some seasoning that goes into it. So you got smoked paprika, which a tablespoon of that. I put salt in it, maybe like a tablespoon of that. It calls for pepper. You can use white pepper because if you have black specks in your macaroni, I'd probably look at this like, what's on my plate? So white pepper if you want pepper. And then you put some onion powder, garlic powder. So a teaspoon of everything, and throw that in there as well into the cheese sauce. So we got our pasta in with the sauce now. Bring it down really low. You want to fold this pasta into the sauce only because we don't stir it because you don't want to break the pasta up or anything. We're going to cut this in half, so to speak, and put half in the bottom layer of the pan, a greased pan with some butter. Okay, so we got one layer there. Now, after this first layer, the trick is you got to go ahead and take your cheddar and Colby Jack that's already shredded and put it in between that first layer, and then you go back behind it with the second layer of the cheese sauce and pasta, and then top it off. And then that's where everybody gets happy.
I want to kiss your grandma on the forehead. Like, this is amazing.
All right, we got a paprika, and then I'll throw some parsley on this thing. And it's going to go in the oven for only 25 minutes at 350, and it's going to come out all bubbly and crispy on top. And so this is what it's going to go in the oven looking like. So you got your whole thing right there. That's your macaroni and your all that stuff.
Ooh, that looks delicious, man. Thanks for taking the time to hang out with us and to give us that recipe and to give us some tips. Thanks to your grandma for hooking us up with some great stuff here. Tavares, we really appreciate you. And bring that on down to the studio anytime. You can just...
I'm bringing this to you.
Yeah, just drop it off.
I'm on the way.
On the way now. Awesome. Stay with us, folks. We got more happening later. I am going to figure this Rubik's Cube out at some point. Hey, that's our show, Later with Jason Suel. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can find us out there on your social media platforms. Like us or send us an email at laterwithjasonsuel.com. And before we leave this episode, we need to thank all of our amazing guests, including Lana Brooks from Lana Brooks Decor and More.
And of course, Tavares Jones for making that awesome mac and cheese.
That's right, and the lovely sounds of Smokey and the Mirror, curated by our great friends at City Sessions.
And then we got to hang out with the Holidays gang.
That's right, what a great episode. That's it. See you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
Bo, can you help with this?
Yeah.